Welcome back to Mondays with Mom, the podcast where my mom, Leah,
Hi.
and I, Jo, dive into her stories, experiences, and the lessons she's hoping I finally take to heart. My mom has always dreamed of turning her life into a book or a movie, and this podcast is our way of making that dream come true, one episode at a time. Right, Mom?
Right, Joey, and thanks for that. Right. Following on from our last episode,
Oh, it's a follow-up episode. It's not something that we usually do.
no, this is a follow-up episode because the topic needs to continue.
It cannot be contained by one 20 to 25 minute episode.
It can't, and I'm sure everyone's excited to find out what happened next. Remember,
Me too.
there,
I think I was there.
you too. Well, remember, in the last episode, I left George at that quiz evening where he had given me the business card, and I did a Leah and didn't call him and threw the business card away.
Well, threw the business card away is putting it very mildly. You ripped it up into tiny little pieces, and if I remember correctly, you put it in different dustbins so that you couldn't piece it back together and call him.
As I said, yes, Joe, I did a Leah, which means I just gently threw it away. And I remember I went back to my bed with the towel, watching my series and eating lots of ribs, which was great fun at the time.
Sounds like my kind of evening.
It's still my kind of evening. So in the meantime, unbeknownst to me, George, who hung around for a bit and waited to see if anyone would call him asking for physio advice, no one did, and he took matters into his own hands.
We like a man who takes initiative.
We do, actually. We do. It's always a good sign. So what he did is he went back and contacted the quiz organizer, Dino, shout out to Dino, and asked him, could he please put him in touch with the woman, that divorced woman that was on the table?
Okay.
Okay.
Didn't even know your name.
He could have asked for my name. I mean, we had introduced ourselves. He probably asked for me by name.
Okay.
But I think, maybe he wanted to make it super clear.
Yeah.
So now, Dino, being a nice, decent, cautious Greek guy, did the thing that any self-respecting married Greek man will do. And before he gives out any information to George, he takes this straight to his wife and asks his wife, am I allowed to give out Leah's phone number? And his wife, Rula, shout out to Rula, who I have great respect for, did quite a thorough job on vetting this man. So she did things like a full background check and checked for criminal records and looked for, skeletons in the closet.
I mean, that's good. Like, it would be weird otherwise. Like, because you could have had some rando guy that had, like, I don't know, criminal history, like trying to get you.
Exactly. And I think if you've been vetted by Dino and Rula, you've had a full and thorough background check. In fact, I'm thinking, Joe, next time you get a boyfriend, we send it through all the details to Dino and Rula and ask them to vet him too. They seem to do quite a good job of this.
Sounds good to me.
So unbeknownst to me, George had been eventually given my phone number.
Okay.
I think Rula had kind of hinted to me that there could be someone that might be calling me, but after she did her thorough background check.
Okay.
And so I happened to be in the car, my fancy Honda that I loved so much, whose exhaust had now been repaired.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
Remember that ordeal.
And so I was driving around, but as bad luck would have it, I had my dad in the car with me. And obviously, me being a good law-abiding person, I would have him on the Bluetooth system of the car.
Uh-huh.
And so when George called and the phone rang, I answered it, and my dad was there. I didn't recognize the phone number, so I just answered.
You do answer random phone numbers.
I know, and you never do, actually.
No, I never answer any phone number.
You never answer any weird phone number that you don't know. Half the time, the government is looking for you to try and tell you that it's time to vote or something, and you block their calls because you don't know their numbers. So, no.
It's because I've got safety on the brain.
Yes, a little bit too much safety.
Okay.
So, it's me who's got adventure on the brain. I answered the phone call, and it happened to be George. And so I kind of chatted to him a little bit. I was trying not to make it obvious that my dad was in the car, and I was trying to keep the topic, very light and
Oh,
kind of.
It was your first phone call, so
No, what I was saying is like I was trying to keep it light as if it was just someone I knew, and I was trying to make it not obvious that here is this guy that could be potentially calling me to ask me out, or what? Has he now decided that if the physio won't come to Muhammad, Muhammad will go to the physio? Do you know what I'm saying?
Good.
You know the expression.
No,
If Muhammad doesn't go to the mountain will come to Muhammad. It's actually an expression.
I've never heard of it before.
Anyway, basically what it's saying is that when you want to get something done in life, you take the initiative. If it doesn't happen the kind of the traditional way, or if it doesn't happen in a straight line, you find another way of making it happen.
Okay.
Okay, so
Gotcha.
that's basically what was happening there. And I was trying to kind of be very nonchalant and try and talk about the weather, and on the other side of the phone, George must have thought this woman is like borderline insane. So he mentioned to me that he was going away overseas with his children because school holidays were coming up. I think when I first met him, it must have been round about July. And so August was coming up.
Okay.
And as you know, all Greek people, especially the ones that are at Saheti, take their children and they rush off to Greece every opportunity they can. And August is definitely one of those opportunities.
Yeah.
So he had just mentioned, I was trying to talk about like anything. Oh, how are your children? And because my dad was listening in. And that's when he had mentioned to me that, oh, yes, we're going overseas for a bit. And then he said to me, well, can I give you a call when I'm back? And I said, well, why don't you come back and then wait a month and give me a call?
Okay.
And in my mind, that was kind of saying,
Yeah.
listen, don't bother.
Uh-huh. Playing hard to get.
I wasn't even playing hard to get because I hadn't planned anything. As you know, I was busy doing the mantra, we don't need a man. So I wasn't actually trying to get anyone. I was literally trying to put him off a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So he hung up. He sounded a bit shocked, which I expected that. And then my dad mentions, asks me, oh, who's that on the phone? Is that the guy that you met at the quiz evening? And I'm saying, yeah, it's the guy that I met at the quiz evening, but no, it's nothing important and it's fine. And my dad said, no, you must meet him. No, a month after he comes back, you must meet with him. You must, because remember, you're marketable. And I'm thinking, oh, please, I'm not interested in being marketable. I'm not interested in anything. I'm just, I believed that what I said to him was enough to put him off. And so the holiday came and went,
Yeah.
and I didn't hear from him.
Okay.
And a month went by after the holiday, and I didn't hear from him.
So
And
you thought like, okay.
And I thought, okay, he's in the same category as the people that I used to say, call me in 9 months.
Uh-huh.
A holiday going past and then a month, it was kind of giving the same vibe.
Uh-huh.
So suddenly, and I used to, weirdly enough, whenever I would tell someone, give them my phone number and say, call me in a month or call me in 5 months or call me in 3 months, I'm the kind of person that remembers these things. It wasn't like I wrote them down, but I'd make a mental note.
Yeah.
And I would think to myself, okay, by, for example, September the 20th, if I haven't heard from this person, then it's done. I don't have to worry anymore.
Yeah.
And so obviously I had made that mental note. And in those days, my brain worked really well. There was no brain fog or anything else going on. So I remembered, and the day came and went.
Uh-huh.
And so I thought, okay, that's over. Doesn't really matter. I wasn't looking for someone anyway. And a week after that, I think when the day came and went, I felt a bit relieved. Like, oh, I don't have to worry about that anymore. And it was either a week or 10 days after that my phone rings and it's George again.
Ooh.
Ooh is correct. And I don't know why, but I turned round and said to him, oh, I thought I told you to call me a month after you came back, and it's now 6 weeks. And why? I said that I have no idea. And he turned around and said, oh, why? Have you been counting the days? And I thought, oh no, what a jerk. I thought, Rula and Dino, you've done a very bad job. This guy is extremely annoying. And we carried on the conversation for a little bit. And then I said to
You
him,
didn't slam the phone down.
I didn't slam the phone down. It was my cell phone. I didn't have a lot of money in those days. It wasn't like a home phone. Had I slammed this phone down, the screen would have cracked, although maybe not, because it was the Nokia 3310.
And Nokias don't break.
That particular model is the unbreakable one. It's the one that could go into I don't know, a nuclear war and come out working perfectly. You know, the number of times I had dropped that phone and it would break into 1,000 pieces and you'd put it back together again, it would work perfectly. So that one was the phone to end all phones. Really, really. It was a really good phone. So no, I didn't slam the phone down, but I carried on talking to him for a bit. And eventually he says to me, well, you know, he said, I was just asking you to go out for a cup of coffee. I wasn't quite, proposing marriage. He said, for you to be making things so difficult.
And you're like, wait till you have the coffee with me.
That's funny. I wasn't even thinking that. I thought, oh, he's such a jerk and he's annoying me.
Yeah.
And just as I was thinking that this is bad enough, he turned around and said to me, he said, listen, I'm sorry to be bugging you. So I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm terribly sorry. He said, I must be mistaken. I've been used to dealing with women, and this is my first attempt of going out for coffee with a little girl. I thought, what?
Oh, I would like never speak to him again if someone said that to me.
Yeah, I thought, what? You complete idiot. And I thought, you know what? Now is
Like
what
if you want me to come for coffee, that's not the way to do it.
And I was so annoyed that I thought, you know what, you idiot? We are going to go for a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to take my coffee and probably throw it in your face and turn around and never see you again because you are an extremely annoying human being. Now, knowing all of this and knowing George now, he's basically would have said to me that what his modus operandi was. He had been taught from young, you've got to make a big impression. Even if it's a bad impression, you've still got to make a big impression. Don't allow yourself to be kind of on the list of people that can be forgotten. And so he made that bad impression. Anyway, so eventually I thought, okay, I'll go out for coffee. And he said, well, when can we go out for coffee? So I kind of thought about it and I said, well, not this weekend because I have my children. And then, so I gave him a date that was 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
And he had been suddenly became very polite and helpful and gentlemanly and said, yes, 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 anytime. Anytime you want is perfect with me.
Okay.
So we set this date, coffee date, initially for approximately 2 weeks' time.
All right.
Now, as I've given you the background info of what I used to love doing, of putting my ribs, I didn't put the ribs directly on the bed, but I had the towel and the ribs and the series. One of the series that would come up was the Oprah show, Oprah Winfrey show.
Yeah.
Which I really used to enjoy watching. And at the time, she was talking about a book called He's Just Not That Into You.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And I think the book actually has 2 authors, but she had invited one of the authors onto her show, who was this guy, Greg. And she was basically asking him questions about the book and asking him about to kind of give people a guideline on it. And I used to absolutely love watching it. And I remember things had stood out for me about this particular book. So one of the things that this author or these authors were saying is, firstly, if a guy calls you on a Friday afternoon to make a date for Friday evening, it means he's basically tried everyone else and you're the last one out there, so he's just not that into you.
Mm-hmm.
If a guy cancels your date that he's arranged on the same day, that afternoon, he's just not that into you.
Okay.
And there were various examples like that, just giving girls and women guidelines, so don't be fooled. And they would say to you that if he's just not that into you, just walk away. It's not worthwhile being in a relationship with this guy.
Okay.
So I used to watch this series. I actually was really, really enjoying it. It was one of Oprah's shows that I really, really loved, and it kind of stuck with me. And so when eventually we set up a meeting time with George, And it was the day of the famous date where I was going to meet him and just tell him to go jump in the nearest lake. He calls me approximately, it was the afternoon. We were going out on a Friday evening, and he called me on Friday afternoon and said, listen, I'm really, really sorry. And I said, yes. He said, I have to cancel our date.
And
I said,
you thought, oh, okay, I know what this means.
And I thought, okay. It seemed a bit odd to me because I thought that's a lot of chasing that he's done till that point, and now suddenly he's just not that into you, and he hasn't even met me yet. So how does he know that he's not that into me? But I thought it was a bit weird. But I said, okay. I said, well, okay, what's wrong? And he said, well, to cut a long story short, my mom is going to have an angiogram tomorrow. My mom's in Athens, by the way. And he said that when I left Greece to come to South Africa, I promised my mom that if ever she had some kind of medical emergency, I would be there with her. And so she's having this procedure done on Saturday, which at the time I didn't realize that Greek people and Greek doctors work at all hours of day and night and weekends. And so he was going to leave because there was an Olympic Airways flight. So he was going to leave on the Friday night to be with his mom on the Saturday. Now, it sounded a little bit far-fetched to me, but I thought, okay, let's go with it. And who cares anyway, because do we need a man?
No, we don't need a man.
Exactly. Now I've taught it to you too. So I thought it doesn't really matter, but what I'm going to do, because I'm still a decent human being, whether he's into me or not, that's his problem. I'm going to send him a message and on Saturday and say, I hope everything goes well with your mom. And I'm thinking about you.
Okay.
Fair enough, right?
Yeah.
And so I get a reply. Thank you very much. I'm thinking about you too. And I thought, why? Why are you thinking about me? My mom's okay.
Yeah. Stop thinking about me.
Stop thinking about me. Why would you be thinking about me? Anyway, I then I let this go and forget about it and carry on watching my series. And on Monday, I get a phone call from George again. And I say, hello. And he says, hi, I'm back again. And I just wanted to ask you, I'm really keen for us to go out. Please, won't you pick a day? Pick a day, give me a time, anytime you want, so we can go out again. And I'm thinking, okay, there's a little bit of deja vu, but all right, I'll pick a day. So again, I pick a time that's not then.
Yeah.
I delay it a bit, possibly by about 10 days,
Okay.
and say, okay, we can meet then. And he said, yes, no problem, anytime. And lo and behold, on the afternoon of the proposed date, he calls me up again and says, listen, I'm really sorry. I need to cancel. I'm thinking
Seriously?
I'm thinking, Oprah, sorry. If he's just not that into you, why does he keep calling? Why is he continuously trying to arrange a date, for crying out loud? Do you know what I'm saying? He's not that into me. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Let me enjoy my ribs in peace. So anyway, I say, like, kind of sighing and kind of like slightly sarcastically, okay, so what seems to be the problem now? Well, he said, you're not really going to believe this, but what happened is that when I went to Greece the last time, I arrived for my mom to do the angiogram and the machine broke down. And so they couldn't do it. And now the machine got repaired. And so the angiogram's tomorrow. So I'm really sorry. I've got to leave and go to Greece tonight. And I'm thinking, we're talking from South Africa to Greece. It's not like I've got to like pop over to the movies tonight, or I've got to, pop down the road 2 kilometers away. So anyway, I thought, okay, listen, this guy is really, really odd. But I thought, he's not that into me, so don't worry about it. He's not going to call again. It's fine. So we left that, and
Okay.
then that was fine. He then comes back again. So now this is the second attempt. And he calls me up again on the Monday again and says, hi, I'm back in Greece. I don't even think I sent a message this time. I'm thinking of you. I thought, I'm not thinking of you. Exactly.
That.
I never want to think of you ever again. So you do you and I'll do me, and we'll all live happily ever after. And so my phone rings again and he says, hi, I'm back from Greece. And this time the procedure went really well and my mom's doing okay. So please, can we go out? And I'm thinking, whoa, this is really, really deja vu. And he said, please just pick a day, any day you want, any day.
Like, I don't want to pick any more days.
And I'm thinking, you've literally got to be kidding me. But I said, okay, I picked another day. And again, it wasn't like a simple day. because I wasn't prepared to see him on the weekends that I had my girls.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to wait for every second weekend so I could make sure that I was free so I could go out with him.
Okay.
So I think this time I thought, okay, maybe Fridays are bad luck. I'm going to pick a Saturday. So I picked a Saturday evening, and this time he had kind of said, okay, we can go out for a drink. It wasn't going to be coffee necessarily. So I said, okay, no problem. And guess what?
He cancels.
A couple of hours before. So at this stage, he's just not that into you. Bells are like alarm bells are ringing in my head. It's like church bells going crazy. And he calls me up and said, listen, I'm really sorry. I have to cancel. And I'm thinking, no, there is no way. There is no way. I was thinking, Greg, author of the book, where the heck are you? And come and tell me what I should be doing here. Maybe I should slam the darn cell phone down because what is going on? And he says, listen, I'm really, really sorry to cancel our date. And I'm thinking,
Are you?
why would you keep calling me and asking me for a date if you just don't want to go out with me and you're not that interested? And I didn't want to go out with you in the first place. So why are we doing this? And he says to me, listen, you're not really going to believe this. And I'm thinking, no, I really am not. I'm pretty sure I'm not. I'm thinking, okay, what's happened to your mom now? So he said, no, no, no. My mom's fine. It's just that I've got a kidney stone. And the reason why I'm calling you so late is that I was really hoping that by now I would have passed the kidney stone so we can still go out. But because I haven't passed the kidney stone and I'm kind of in agony, please can we cancel the date? So
You're like, what an excuse.
I mean, I had never in my life experienced anything like this. And then he calls me up again on the Monday and says, I've passed the kidney stone. And I'm thinking, I was nice about it. Internally, I'm thinking, I'm very happy for you. Externally, I'm thinking, maybe I should get a copy of that book and like rewrite it myself. And he says to me, please, can we go out?
Okay, and what did you say?
Listen, at this point, I would have actually said, just let's get this date over and done with. Let us just get this date over and done with because I thought I actually can't take anymore. Either I have to, because again, if you remember, my reason for even going out with him in the first place
Was to dump the coffee on him.
exactly was to actually because he had passed those comments of, oh, I don't date little girls. And the whole thing was just to get this date over and done with so I could say that I did it so he could realize that he's dealing with a woman, not a little girl, and then dump him. That was how the whole thing was going to go. So once again, I sat down and I planned a whole system again where my girls were going to be away for the weekend with their dad so I can have the perfect weekend. And I agreed to go on a date.
The perfect weekend to dump a coffee on another guy.
Well, this time we had actually said we're going to go out for a drink.
Oh, so you can drink. You can dump a cocktail on another
There you
another
go.
guy.
There you go. Now stop giving me ideas. Where were you when I needed you? You were too young at the time.
Is that my dad's?
You at your dad's, exactly. So then what happens is I agreed to go on a date. It was a Saturday night, and I said, okay. And at this point, hours were ticking by and getting closer to the date, and nobody canceled. So
Ooh.
this date was going to go ahead according to plan. And this opened up a whole new can of worms.
Okay.
So I hadn't dated anyone since before I got married.
Yeah.
So now I'm in my 30s suddenly, and I don't know, you know how things change?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was a whole good, at least 10 years since I had been in the dating scene.
Oof.
And so suddenly I'm thinking to myself, well, what is the new etiquette? Must I arrive at the date with my own car? Must he come past the house and pick me up? Must I do something? Plus, I was a bit nervous. It was South Africa still, so I wasn't very keen to be driving on my own at night. But do I get into a car with a stranger? A
Yeah.
weird stranger that's canceled 3 dates, and I don't even know if he's that into me, and maybe it's better that he's not into me. What if he is into me? That's even worse. Do I then get in his car, don't get in his car? And that opened up a whole new can of worms. But it looks like that's going to have to be a story for next time.
Ooh, cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger, because it looks like we're running out of time now. And so suffice to say that I did go on that date.
But we're going to have to hear that story another time.
But we're going to hear the story another time, maybe next week.
Ooh, I hope so, because you can't leave me hanging for that long.
Okay, promise not to leave you hanging.
Okay.
So
I need to know what happened.
I think you kind of know what happened, but
Don't tell them.
you don't know exactly how it happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I was at my dad's, so I wasn't there.
Okay, so on that note, I'm really, really grateful again for this
Oh, yeah.
podcast. I'm grateful, Joey, that we're doing it together. I'm grateful that George's kidney stones have all passed and that I didn't eventually dump coffee on him.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Well, I didn't dump coffee on him.
Okay.
No, I didn't say cocktail, I said coffee.
Okay. Well, then what are the lessons that we've learned from this episode?
Firstly, refer to the book. If he cancels a couple of hours before the date, he's just not that into you. And what you do need is a guy that's really into you. On the other hand, if someone is contacting you once a week, every week, begging you or asking you continuously to go out with him, maybe he is that into you. So we need to maybe write that as a little addition.
So there's like basically nothing learned at this point. He's either into you or he's not, and the signs point to either yes or no. It's like one of those like those like balls that you would shake that give you the answer.
Yes.
Those magic 8 balls. Say maybe.
Okay, so yes, when it comes to men and dating, there are no answers.
They're just as confusing as they seem.
And as they always were, and they continue to be, as
Yeah.
you know from your own experiences.
Yeah, 100%. And on that note,
thanks again to everyone for listening.
we really appreciate it. And we can't wait to see you guys, or not see you because we can't see you, but we can't wait for you guys to hear us next time.
Sounds good. Take care, everyone. And if you are enjoying the podcast, don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, on here, Spotify, or here being whatever platform you're listening to us on, and on Instagram, where we have a new account. So yeah, see you guys around.
Bye, guys.
When I can hear your heart